All right, so I guess we can start with FDR Park. So Justin DiBerardinis, who is the director for FDR Park. First, we're gonna play his wonderful Parks at Home video, and then he'll talk a little bit more about what's all happening at FDR Park and all of the great resources they have there.
Hi, I'm Justin DiBerardinis with Philadelphia Parks and Recreation. We're here in South Philadelphia, and this is FDR Park. It's amazing that here at Broad and Pattison in South Philadelphia, in one of the densest parts of this city, we have a 350-acre Olmsted-designed park with lakes and streams and stone bridges, with these great pavilions on the river, with the Swedish History Museum, with one of the great skate parks in America, with tons of athletic facilities. But we're about to take this park to another level. The city, led by our Mayor Jim Kenney and led by our Parks Department, is in a major effort to restore tidal wetlands that have been lost in this landscape over the years. A major effort to build new recreational facilities. A major effort for this park to achieve its potential as we believe one of the great public spaces in America. It's 350 acres. Today I'm going to show you the hidden half of FDR, the part of FDR Park that even regulars very rarely see and many don't know about. If you're in this main area of the park, which if you come in any of the entrances, you'll find your way to. This is a major parking area. You'll see some red buildings peeking out here over my right shoulder. If you see those red buildings and you want to see the hidden FDR Park, that's the way to go. We're going to go over there right now. Follow me. So here we are. When you pass between these two red buildings, here this pathway opens up to the old FDR Park golf course. This golf course was just decommissioned as a golf course last year, and now it's 200 acres of streams and meadows and woodlands that is going back to nature. It's really an incredible asset, and once again, it's here in South Philadelphia. This is one of the great natural landscapes in the city of Philadelphia. It's right here, and people should be using this space now more than ever. When we need to spread out, when we need nice places to get our children some run, where we can have some distance, this golf course is it, and I want to show you some of the beautiful spots within there. Let's go. Historically, this entire golf course has been a tide marsh, one of these incredibly dynamic ecosystems that supports incredible aquatic life, that supports migratory birds. Over the last century, this golf course has started to sink down and the tide marshes have risen back up. We're leaning into that and we're restoring dozens of acres of tidal marshland back to this park. It is an absolutely incredible acreage to explore. It is a place of real magic. So please, come to this park, get to know this park, fall in love with this park. Be a part of the diverse and powerful community movement that's forming to build Philadelphia's next great public space. You can do that by going to loveyourpark.org and find out about volunteer and stewardship opportunities that are happening here, right here in the park this summer. You can also go to Friends of FDR Park. That's the organization that's leading and guiding the community effort to set the course for this incredible project. I hope to see you here in FDR Park.
All right, so we had a little bit of some lag in the video, so we're going to try to see if we can get the next video started with a little faster pace. But as we're doing that, we'd like to introduce Justin DiBerardinis, who is the director of FDR Park.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well today. I'm sorry that video was laggy, but I hope in those still images you could at least see that it is a beautiful park. It is a big and beautiful park with lakes and with trails and with a lot of space. So just to sort of give folks an idea of what they could expect at the park now, it's a park that sort of has had a split identity. There's sort of the major public recreation area, which has had fields and a great skate park and tennis courts and these lakes and some nice architecture. And that's what most people have seen. The hidden half of the park was this golf course, which had a very limited audience historically, didn't have a ton of people there outside of golfers. And that's the area that I think maybe is the space that maybe could be most utilized by your organizations. If you're looking to get out, if you're looking to have your children experience some natural landscapes this summer, I think what we have in that golf course for folks who are interested in bringing their students or their communities to FDR Park is a place where we have some shaded mowed acreage that has very, very small numbers of people on it, where you could spread out, where we have now mowed some trails through this golf wilderness, this overgrown golf course of meadows. So you can take your kids on a couple miles of walk and not deal with some of the crowds or other pressures you might deal with some of our more popular park trails in the system. Something I'm working on now, I'm going to knock on some wood here because I don't have it done yet, but right now we're working to restore the sprinkler system for this golf course so that we could have some acres of spray ground. I think in a year where we're going to have city pools closed, in a year where I expect we're going to have a hot summer and not a lot of places to cool down, I would love to be able to make that sprinkler system, if we can get it online with our skilled trades here in the Parks Department, as an available amenity to out-of-school time groups so that you can get your kids down here where you can have a nice area to picnic, where you can have a wide space for them to spread out. So I've been here at this park for just a couple months now. I love this park. I think it could be a great asset, not just for your organizations, but for folks' families as we make them aware of what we're doing here. And I would like to build not just, oh, we'll come down this summer, but I think my approach to how you build a great park is really through partnerships. So organizations that could really see themselves using FDR in a longer format way, as we're able to, maybe hopefully next year see some easing in social distancing where we can start bringing back boating on these lakes, which is something I hope to do in 2021. Groups that are really interested in a longer relationship with the park, who could really see this space advancing their program. I want to talk to you. If you're looking for an outdoor space to call home, I hope it's FDR. And I think we have a lot to offer. So I hope today can be the beginning of some real conversations on how FDR can serve your constituencies and serve your organization in a great way. I do think it's a great park. I think we have a lot to offer. We're in South Philadelphia. I see that question popping up in the meeting chat. So where FDR is, we're at the bottom of the Broad Street line. If you know where the stadium complex is, you got the baseball stadium, Citizens Bank Park, you have the Eagles Stadium and the Wells Fargo Center on one side of the street. And on the other side of the street, you have FDR Park. And like I said, it's 350 acres. That's one of the biggest parks in the city. It's got a lot of land, a lot of things to offer, and very accessible by public transportation, very accessible because you have both 76 and 95 coming right down to either side of the park. So it's not a hard park to get to. We're a South Philly park, but I think we're located in a place where, groups from most of the city could get down here pretty easily. So I would say that's the story with FDR. I hope some people today are excited by what you're hearing, and we can figure out how FDR can serve you better. And I think that's it from me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin, for talking about FDR Park. Now we are going to have Jamil Mitchell. She is with Winchester Park, but she's going to be talking about my favorite park, my favorite part of the park, which is East Park and the Boxers Trail. So first we're going to do her video. Again, we're going to, see if we can get the actual visual to be a little faster. We know you guys could hear the video very well, but it was just the visual that was kind of lagging a little bit. But first we're going to look at her video. And then she'll talk a little bit more about the Boxers Trail run.
Hey, Naomi.
Yeah.
There is a question really quick. Alexandria wanted to know, can you barbecue there? And I assume that's for Justin.
Yeah. So barbecuing is a big thing here in FDR. So we have a lot of picnic sites here in the park. There's a lot of room to barbecue. I'd say if you want to bring a group down and do it, let's figure it out. We just recently got some coal bins so we can take care of coal ash a little bit better. So certainly it's something that's happening a lot with the public. Sometimes people get permits, sometimes they don't. But if your group wants to do it, I would love to make that connection and figure out how we can do that in a good way down here.
Yeah, I totally forgot, but speaking of permits and not permits, my partner and I had some of our engagement photos at FDR Park.
Oh, cool.
We didn't realize we needed a permit for that, but we did it anyways, and they came out great. All right, so now we're going to hear from the Boxers Trail Run and Jamil Mitchell.
Oh, that video is horrible.
Playground Winchester Playground. All right, she's taking me on a tour of the Boxers Trail. All right, this is my first time here. We're located in North Philadelphia, and we're going to.
All right, so we're still lagging a little bit. Noah, can you stop the video really quickly for me? Thank you. Let's see.
While you're trying to fix it, I see another question. In order to, I think Samaya asked, do they need to get a permit in order to barbecue or use the park, or to barbecue in the park, I assume?
So, what I would say to that is we have a lot of folks who just show up here with their grills respectfully and do that thing. You know what I mean? Like that definitely happens. If you are wanting to bring your organization down here, like you want to bring a big group of kids, you're doing something in an organized way, it would be great if we had a conversation about that. I could make sure we had all the permits that we need, and I'm happy to help you do that. I think especially with this golf course, we're bringing in areas that right now you can't access through the permit system, but I think we could have a conversation where we set it up. So I always think as we're thinking about how we use it, we have plenty of picnic tables. There's a lot of places for family and other small groups just to set up and have a good time in the park. That certainly isn't how the park is traditionally used. But if we're going to do it in like a group way, let's have a dialogue. Let's figure out the right day and the right location and make sure we have the right trash cans, bags, and other resources for you so that we can have a good, clean experience. But plenty of barbecue. Plenty of barbecuing happening here. And that's something I would love to help your groups do. But my email, could we share that somehow? I'll type it into the message right here.
Sure.
Yes,
so that
if you
folks
could,
can see where to reach me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my email in here, and I'm going to add my cell number, and I'm going to trust folks, please contact me because I want to have your groups here. So let's figure it out. All right. I think, okay, there I go. Yep, that's my email and that's my cell.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Justin. So I think we're going to pivot just a bit while we're working out our technical difficulties. And Jamil, if you want to first talk about the Boxers Trail, where it's at, what it's connected to and all of that, and just your experience with like walking through it, that would be great. And then we'll see if we can get this video up and running.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me today. So me and my coworker, Brian Payton, we started doing trail walks as part of the virtual programming, and we were asked to try the Boxers Trail. And the interesting thing was the entrance of the Boxers Trail. So realizing it's right across, it's near Mander Playground, across the street from the large park area. There's a small little entrance, which you'll see on the video. It was actually a fun experience. They, in the early 2000s, actually repaved the area. So it's kind of nice and more even to walk along. And we actually saw some families utilizing the area. So it was, really refreshing to see people utilizing the space. And we actually also saw chipmunks and chipmunk families. So it was a nice nature experience. And it was interesting because the day we went, it started raining, but the foliage, the nice covering of the trees kind of kept us from getting too wet during the experience. But it's about 3.8 miles of walkway, and it's known for actual the boxers actually utilizing it for training purposes. I used to work at various rec centers, and some of them had boxing programs, and the boxers would use that space to build up their endurance. And I can say, as far as some of the inclines go, it definitely increases your endurance. So it's that part where you're getting a nice workout, but there's also like creeks along the way, so you can actually have a nice family experience as well.
And Jamil, can you share with us again where Boxers Trail is, or where where the entrance is?
Yes, it's excuse me. It's actually right near Mander Playground. What is that? Reservoir.
Like 33rd and Diamond?
Yes, right, yeah, right around that area. So yeah, when you're on, is it 33rd, you're gonna, and it depends on which way you're going, but it's like when you turn in, you're going to see, because this is where we kind of got confused. When you turn in, you're literally going to see a whole like field, and then there's usually like these the soccer goals. I'm not sure if they're still up there now, but they were there that day. And right across the street is this little nook area with like this started paveway, and it's literally right there. And right above it, you'll actually see the sign that says Boxers Trail. So you just kind of have to be aware of the sign, but it is pretty much right there. And once you see it, you'll never forget it's there.
Absolutely. And another great thing about that area of the park is that there are lots of historic homes.
Yeah.
So there's at least 3 historic homes kind of off to the side, as well as Mander Playground. And then if you go a little bit down a ways, there's the Discovery Center, which is a pretty new bird sanctuary space. And then, of course, Smith Memorial Playground and Playhouse, the happiest place in Philadelphia. So it's just it's a great space that you can kind of go to. It's huge, and like everyone was saying, it is a space that's not I don't want to say not well utilized, but it's certainly not one of the it's not the Wissahickons or the Schuylkill Banks of the world. So it's a little off the beaten path. So I'm actually going to see if we can try to show the video. Again, I fingers crossed we can do this. So let's see if we can do it again. Hold on for just 1 second, everybody.
Hey, this is Brian Payton from Jerome Brown Playground, and here with me is
Jamil Mitchell from Winchester Playground.
All right, she's taking me on a tour of
The Boxers Trail.
the Boxers Trail. All right, this is my first time here. We're located in North Philadelphia, and we're gonna tour the Boxers Trail every week. You know, we do our tour of the city, but we do our workouts, trying to stay in shape during this pandemic. But hey, listen, just know that even though the pandemic is going on, you can be safe and you can be healthy. So she's going to tell me a little bit about the trail.
Okay, so it's known for the Boxer 5K, which is an annual event that you can actually look on the site to find out more about. But it's about 3.8 miles of now, thanks to some partnerships with the city, Fairmount Park Conservancy. It's actually been paved nicely, so you can have a bike, you can do a jog, a walk, whatever, to get some fresh air. And it's beautifully wooded, which you're about to see in a few minutes.
All right, as we begin, we're just starting our trail. I'm trying to give you some video footage of what it looks like on the Boxers Trail. It's very nice and neat, as you can see. As she said, it's been repaved. Just beautiful. The air is fresh. It's a little misty. Plus, we're happy to be out working out, staying in some shape. All right. As we walk the trail, rumor is that it was some big time boxers who ran on this trail, and this is how it got the name. I heard plenty of boxers ran the trail.
Yes, Keith.
Some famous ones being Joe Frazier, and I heard that Muhammad Ali as well ran this trail. Can you tell me about it?
Muhammad Ali.
I heard it's a fact though.
I mean, it's written, so.
Oh, it's written. All right.
So, Muhammad Ali wanted to challenge Joe Frazier. I just to the boxers trail to see him face to face and challenge him. So this is, a well-known paved lane, or at one point unpaved. Many boxers, even those that are trying to become professional boxers, actually come. And for many of us that work in different rec centers know that a lot of our boxing programs come out here for training. So one of the reasons it's even called Boxers Trail is because Joe Frazier used to come out here for training.
I'm sure Ali came out here just to get in his head, man. If you know anything about Ali, it was all tactical.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but take a look. It's very beautiful out here. All the trees are bright green, and it's just the smell of the air. Everything about this Boxers Trail is fresh. Let me see if you can see as we walk through the trail.
And it can definitely put you in a good headspace.
Definitely. All right, we here and we're walking and we're seeing a lot of cool stuff, but I don't know where we're going. Where's this trail leading us to?
Well, this part that we're actually walking to will actually take you right along Kelly Drive. So you'll actually be able to see the river. You'll actually be able to see other people walking across Kelly Drive.
Now, I saw a fork in the road up there. Where would that happen?
So that's the other part of the Boxers Trail. So there's a little fork in the road that you can continue and lap around as far as the Boxers Trail goes.
And what's up there? I think I've seen some gigantic houses and mansions and stuff.
Yeah, there's actually a few mansions within the Boxers Trail that are historic that you can actually see along the trail.
Now, also, if you notice a creek down here, a lot of tadpoles and
we saw
chipmunks and a lot of things from nature is here. Oh, we're having fun. You getting the world-class tour.
Yes.
That's it.
The PPR tour, nothing like it.
This is a real adventure here. It's not a fake tour. Anything can. Chipmunks, anything can jump out. But more importantly, we're staying in shape as well. We're making sure that we're healthy. And I'm trying to lose some of these pounds that I eating a little bit too much. Here's another fork in the road. I wonder where this would take us. Right or left? Right or left? Let's try right.
Want to try right? Because left is going to take us right towards Kelly Drive. So we can actually go left.
We're going to go left. All right. We can make a left at the fork of the road.
But remember where we are, please.
Yes. Please remember where we are. But as you know, walking is good for cardiovascular, helping on lungs, staying in shape, and building up a great immune system. So.
And don't forget your water.
Do not forget the H2O. All right, here we go now. I don't want y'all to think this easy. It sounds like when you hear it's only 3.8 miles or whatever, but let me tell you something. It's 3.8 miles and it's hills, and it's inclines, it's some real work. So if you are a boxer, this is an excellent place to get in shape and get your fatigue up. And if you're just a person like us who's trying to stay healthy, I recommend the Boxing Trail.
Yeah, this will definitely get some oxygen in your lungs.
Yeah, definitely. Again, make sure you check it out. It's a beautiful site. I'm looking through the trees. I see beautiful water, which I think is Kelly Drive. It's even raining out here a little bit on us now, and we're enjoying just the nature side of things. Here we go. I see daylight. Let's see where this path leads us. All right. We hear cars. It sounds like a highway. Looks like we're about to come out at one side of the trail. I don't even know if we're on the trail. We may not even be on the trail anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to another round.
Here we go. As we come through and look, I see cars. Oh, I see where we are. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As we come out, I'll give you a peek when we walk back in.
Beautiful Kelly Drive.
All right, this is Kelly Drive. You look across the street, you have a beautiful body of water, a nice view. See it. Hey. Hey, I'm learning so much about the city. We have a very beautiful, beautiful city. And I've been here 40 years, and it's just like I'm learning more and more about the city each day. I'm seeing new places every day. And I mean, it's very interesting. It's very exciting to know we have a beautiful, beautiful city. Yeah, pretty tiring, but it's good work. You feel better after doing it. Do you know where we are next week yet?
No, we haven't figured it out, but we will post some clues on Jerome Brown Playground
and Winchester Playground
Facebook pages and our Instagram.
Hey, so if you want to come out, man, and get in shape, check out the boxing trail and just continue to stay in shape.
All right, so that was just a little bit about the Boxers Trail run or Boxers Trail. I have done the Boxers Trail run in the past and volunteered for that trail, and it's tons of fun. And Elaine said, "I'm winded just watching you." So we are going to up next. We are going to hear a little bit from we're going to hear from Pennypack Park. So John McBride and our friend Kelly. So I'm going to play the video and then we'll talk with John and Kelly. Hold on for just 1 second, everyone.
Someone asked if the videos can be.
Yes, so we will share all of the links to the videos. And Bill Bill, our friend Bill Salvatore, just the hardest working man in the Philadelphia Parks and Recreation system.
Leave him
Second. Just shared the Facebook link to the Philadelphia Parks and Rec site. So one of the many great things that that Parks and Rec did once we all found out that we were going to be at home for a little while is they very quickly coalesced a committee to kind of produce online content for their rec centers and their trails. So they do daily programming on their Facebook site. All of the rec centers, most of the rec centers are putting out online content. So they might have like a wacky Wednesday where somebody tells a joke. They might have wellness Fridays where somebody's doing yoga. They do read alouds. I saw the rec leader from East Passyunk, Natalie, did a really, really cool read aloud. So they have a ton of online content for you to show either virtually as you're going through your virtual programs this summer or in person. So let me share the Pennypack Park video. I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Recreation Leader 3, John McBride, and join me and fellow Recreation Leader Kelly Fasano as we guide you on a journey through Pennypack Park. Today's journey will focus on the areas between Pine Road, the westernmost entrance to Pennypack Park, and Veree Road, located only a mile away along the park's trail. The Pine Road picnic area is also the home to a great example of the Meadow Establishment Program of Philadelphia Parks and Recreation. Meadows are established throughout the Pennypack Park to create beneficial wildlife habitat that draws in a great diversity of insect, bird, mammal, reptilian, and amphibian life found in Pennypack Park, a part of the Fairmount Park system.
As John is pointing out, there is plenty for the nature enthusiasts, but with the trails for running, biking, walking, and even horseback riding, there are plenty of athletic options in Pennypack as well.
And with plenty of turns and a number of hills, the trail in Pennypack Park provides a greater cardio challenge than you'll find on a flat roadway. Come on, Kelly, let's go.
Let's go. Tell you what, the kids and I will meet you at the Veree Road waterfall.
There are markers every half mile along the trail, so you can measure your distance. They are marked on each side, so whether you start to the west at Pine Road or to the east at Frankfort Avenue, you'll get the appropriate half-mile mark that you have traveled. A lush and spacious meadow hosting a flock of Canadian geese marks one's arrival at the Veree Road Dam, where we find Kelly and her children. Kelly Fasano often brings her children to enjoy the many amenities that the Pennypack has to offer.
During the quarantine, it was one of the few places that we could come while maintaining social distancing. And the kids could play outside, get away from the screens, the TV, the iPad. They love to come here and they love to play in water, fish, eat the ducks, lift the rocks and find crawfish and salamanders.
Yeah.
My son Chuck was lucky enough to find an eastern two-line salamander just above the falls. This was a fantastic discovery, as amphibian life has been on the decline throughout the state. It shows just how well Parks and Recreation stewards are taking care of the Pennypack Creek.
My daughter and I love feeding the ducks. We're hoping that some of the baby ducklings that are down there will come over.
Look, Mommy, the goose ate my corn.
The Philadelphia Water Department, working in cooperation with Philadelphia Parks and Recreation, received a grant to knock down all the old gristmill dams along the Pennypack Creek, save for the one at Veree Road. This is so anadromous fish that are born in freshwater, live in salt or brackish water, and return to freshwater to breed, could start to make their way up the creek like they did before the introduction of gristmills. These fish include striped bass, white perch, and a variety of other species. This is a natural fish ladder that occurred during the dam renovations along the Pennypack Creek. While the Veree Road Dam was spared from being knocked down like many of the other old gristmill dams, there was plans for a fish ladder to be constructed to allow fish to swim upstream. Mother Nature took care of that.
My son loves fishing, and the Pennypack is a great local family spot to enjoy it. He really looks forward to coming here to fish.
It's always good to come. Well pairs with the big tackle box.
If you're age 16 or older, you do need to purchase a fishing license from the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, but under 16 is completely free. Beyond Veree Road, on the remainder of its 9-mile journey that starts at Pine Road at the Montgomery County line and ends at the Delaware River, there are other amenities to enjoy, like the Ed Kelly Band Show, the historic Kings Highway Bridge, and Pennypack on the Delaware. But mostly, Pennypack offers peace. Kelly and I will leave the last word to today's journey to a noted outdoor enthusiast from Northeast Philadelphia. O meandering stream, that which sustains life in and about you, to thee I sing. Calvin J. Klein, author of a book on the Pennypack. Mr. Klein's words certainly encapsulate what the Pennypack Creek is all about. And we hope you now know a little bit more about the Pennypack Park.
Yay! Okay. All right, now we'll hear a little bit from John McBride as well as Kelly Fasano about Pennypack Park. I don't know if Kelly's on or not.
Kelly's not. Unfortunately, she woke up this morning and her cat passed away. So
oh no.
She's got that trauma to deal with, and of course, explaining it to her children. So I'll be here to answer any questions that you'd like to know.
Okay, and I'm sorry, John, real quick. I think Ms. Varese has a question.
Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. Never mind.
No problem.
All right.
Like I said in the video, the Pennypack system is a 9-mile winding stream that runs Pine Road to the west, which is the Philadelphia-Montgomery County border, to the Delaware River, Pennypack on the Delaware in the east. The park itself doesn't go all the way through to that. It doesn't stop. It does stop at Frankfort Avenue. So that's about 7.5 miles from Pine Road to Frankfort Avenue. And the rest it winds on through until it does reach to Delaware. There's plenty of amenities there. For me to show everything, it wouldn't be a 6.5-minute video. It would probably be a half-hour to 45-minute documentary. And I don't know that anyone wanted that right now. There is a lot of history there, as I pointed out. There was a series of grist mills in the early 1800s. Many of them have been knocked down through a grant obtained by the Philadelphia Water Department to bring freshwater breeding, saltwater living fish back up to the stream. They were going to maintain the Veree Road Dam, and that is still there. And there was plans for a fish ladder. Mother Nature happened to take care of that and save probably $25,000, probably $50,000, just by creating a natural one there. Plenty of wildlife there. You saw a couple birds, chipmunk, eastern two-line salamander. I've seen white-tailed deer, red fox, possum, skunk, owls, red-tailed hawks. It's like going to a zoo without walls, a zoo without cages. It's a very popular destination. They have some sections that have real small beachfronts, which is nice when the pools aren't going to be open, or what was looking like that travel was really going to be restricted during this pandemic era. And that's one of the things Kelly and I wanted to point out, that if you're not going to be able to enjoy a traditional vacation spot during the stay-at-home or safer-at-home situation, you had a nice staycation just around the corner at the Pennypack Creek in Northeast Philadelphia. They do have picnic tables and barbecue areas like other parks that were pointed out, like Justin's FDR Park, certainly in other sections of East Fairmount Park. There's also large circular concrete charcoal pits. That's not for cooking out, that's for disposing of your charcoal when you are done using your barbecue. Pennypack Environmental Center is not far from Marie Road. We chose not to highlight that simply because no indoor facility is open right now for people to enjoy and explore. So rather than get someone's appetite whet to do that, we decided at this time to leave it out. And perhaps down the road when things do open up again, we can do something with the Pennypack Environmental Center and maybe even have their people host that video. I know Peter Kurtz and Stephanie Hoffer Robinson and even Mary Grace, who I think is situated in one of the buildings there, do an awful lot of nature education programming in that building. Is there any questions anyone has?
We did have a question from Bree. She just wanted to know exactly where was kind of like the best entrance to access Pennypack Park would be.
There are several. I would say right now the best one is Pine Road because it has the largest parking lot. And also, if it is that crowded, you can't get in the parking lot. There's a good amount of on-street parking on Pine Road, which is not really a residential area or a business area. It's more just a plain park area. It's more like a dedicated park area. One nice feature across from Pennypack Park at Pine Road is the Fox Chase Farm, which is part of the Saw Agricultural School. The main school is located in Roxborough, but Fox Chase Farm portion is located right there on Pine Road in Northeast Philadelphia. Anything else? Oh, before I just leave off on good access points, there's also parking area at Marie Road on Ron Street near Father Judge High School. There is also a section called Winchester Park. There's access to a parking area there as well. Not so much parking on Frankfurt Avenue. That's just a walk-in entrance, though there is businesses around there where you could use their parking lots.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John. Okay, so
No
we are.
problem.
Thanks.
My
All right, so
pleasure.
we're going to hear from Barry Bessler, who is a retired professional with the Philadelphia Parks and Rec Center, and he's going to talk a little bit about Cobb's Creek. So again, we're going to play the video first, and then Barry will talk a little bit about Cobb's Creek in West Philadelphia.
Good morning. My name is Barry Bessler. I am a recently retired employee of the Philadelphia Parks and Recreation Department and a lifelong advocate for parks and open space. And I'm always going to be especially fond.
Can you guys see the video?
Parks in the city of Philadelphia, as we have one of the greatest
Yes.
systems in the
Yes.
world.
Yes. Can you turn the volume up?
Creek Park. It's a park that comprises over 800 acres throughout West Philadelphia, stretches from City Line Avenue at the Montgomery County line all the way down to Woodland Avenue, headed down toward the airport and the Delaware River. So let's go check out the trail. As you can see, it's all natural area down here. This is one of the 5 stream valley parks that we have in the Philadelphia Park and Recreation System. And those stream valley parks, just like this one, are all encompassed alongside a natural body of water that flows as a tributary to a larger body of water, either the Schuylkill River or the Delaware River, depending on which area of the city you're in. Yeah, one of the many features of Cubs Creek is being the waterway, is people take advantage of that. They come down and feed ducks and throw bread into the water and go fishing and just use it as a place of serenity to come and just enjoy peace and enjoy nature. And you can do that all throughout the entirety of Cubs Creek. We're walking now down the unimproved trail. And this goes all along Cubs Creek. You can see the steep incline down from the street level. And you wouldn't even know that you're in the 5th largest city in the country as you're walking along these trails that are deep in the woods. It really is a great place to get away from it all. One of the initiatives that we've taken to over the past many years is trying to restore the natural vegetation in all of our parks, but especially our stream valley parks like Cotts Creek Park, because there are detractors from that. There are, as I said, forces of Mother Nature sometimes wreak havoc on the landscape. Another thing that we've encountered in this particular park is the presence of white-tailed deer. As in most natural areas throughout the city, we find a lot of white-tailed deer in this park, and we've done removal of those deer over the past about 5 or 6 years anyway, to try and keep that the number of deer down so that the damage that they do to the landscape is minimized. And we've done a really good job with that, because as you can see, all this understory and growth on the floor of the wooded area is not being disturbed. Cotts Creek Park really is the antithesis of what we strive for in providing an urban park system here in Philadelphia. When the Fairmount Park Commission merged with the Department of Recreation over 10 years ago, many areas, just like Cotts Creek Park, became those full-service recreational type park spaces, meaning that they have not only natural areas with woodlands and forests and creeks, but also hubs of recreation activity with our recreation center, with the Laura Sims Skate House, with the courts and active areas that we have in this park, swimming pool at the recreation center, basketball courts, picnic areas, all of those active type pursuits make this a full service park, a fully usable recreational area, whether your recreational interests are passive or more active. We have all of that to share in Cotts Creek Park.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll hear a little bit from Mr. Barry Bessler about Cobbs Creek Park. located in West Philly. I think somebody said it was frozen. I did notice that the volume was a little low. So hopefully Barry can talk a little bit about what was discussed in the video, so we can talk a little bit more about at least the video portion of it.
Okay. Well, thanks, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on. Yeah, Cobbs Creek Park is one of our stream valley parks in the Philadelphia Parks and Recreation system, and those stream valley parks, all of them, and to a certain extent, you saw a lot of the same kind of things in John's video up in Pennypack Park and the video along the Boxers Trail. Very much in tune with nature. These trails that lead through our parks, like Cobbs Creek Park, are very much in a natural wilderness kind of setting. And again, I know in the video the volume was a bit low. I mentioned in there that you would never, walking along that trail along Cobbs Creek Park, you would never know that you're in the fifth largest city in the country, simply because of being surrounded by all the forest and natural woodland and nature that is there. So that is one of the truly terrific things about not only Cobbs Creek Park, but all of the Stream Valley parks in the Parks and Recreation system. Cobbs Creek Park does stretch all the way from the Overbrook neighborhood up in the northern part of the park at the city line, and stretches all the way down to Woodland Avenue in Southwest Philadelphia, and encompasses over 800 acres. And within those 800 acres is not just the natural areas that I mentioned, but there's also a lot of active recreation areas. There's the recreation centers at Cobbs Creek, at Spruce Street. There's also Papa Playground, which is up at 68th and Lansdowne. There's the Laura Sims Skate House along Cobbs Creek Parkway. There are courts, and there are active recreation areas, and there's picnic areas, and all of these type of amenities are interspersed throughout the length of Cobbs Creek Park. In the video, we were walking along the unimproved trail, which is down closest to the creek and right in the heart of the forest and in the heart of the natural woodland area of the park. But up along, paralleling along Cobbs Creek Parkway in both directions is a paved trail, which essentially is the hard surface trail that walkers and joggers and bicyclists use when they're using Cobbs Creek Park. And that stretches all the way from up in the Overbrook neighborhood along the sidewalks all the way down to Woodland Avenue in Southwest Philadelphia. One thing I wanted to mention also, we always talk about Cobbs Creek Park, but one of the areas in Cobbs Creek Park that sometimes people don't associate with it is Morris Park. And this is a park in the northern stretch of Cobbs Creek Park that is actually surrounds a tributary of the Indian Creek. And in that Overbrook neighborhood, that's where Papa Playground is. And that is an extension off to the east, if you will, of Cobbs Creek, and another tributary that feeds into the Cobbs Creek Stream Valley. And that area of Morris Park has more woodland and forested areas, and a great opportunity for people to experience nature and just come out and enjoy the peace and serenity that Mother Nature has to provide in these areas. Cobbs Creek Park is also home to one of the most famous and historic golf courses in all of America, the Cobbs Creek Golf Course at 72nd and Lansdowne Avenue. It's also home to the Cobbs Creek Community Environmental Center, which is at 63rd and Catherine Streets. These are all amenities that I believe, as John mentioned, they're great to take advantage of, but unfortunately, we can't take advantage of all of these things right now. The recreation center is being closed and the environmental center being closed. But what you can take advantage of, and this is what I hope everyone will take advantage to do, it's a great opportunity at this time to get in touch with and explore nature as maybe you have not been able to or had the desire to in the past because you've had interest in more active recreational pursuits. But just taking a walk along that unimproved trail down along Cobbs Creek Park and take a few steps off of that that unimproved trail along the creek and just explore all the various plant life and wildlife and growth of the forest in and around Cobbs Creek. And this is, as I said, this is an opportunity to explore nature simply because, unfortunately, at this present time, some of these other amenities that we offer in the park are not fully available. When they are terrific and wonderful amenities for people to pursue all sorts of different recreational opportunities. But I think now is a great time to get down deep in the woods, if you will, in the park and really explore those natural areas and explore nature and get in touch with the natural areas in Cobbs Creek and in all of our park areas at this time of when we can't use the more active areas of the park.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Barry.
Sure.
We were going to show a short video about the Wissahickon and the Andorra nature area, but we're running out of time. And also the person that had volunteered to do that video couldn't join us. He had an emergency with all of the storms and the trees and all of that stuff, which I know a lot about since there's a big old tree in my backyard that came down last week. So we will send you a link to that video so you can take a look. But one of the reasons why we wanted to have Parks and Rec come out and talk to you guys, they have just a host of online programming that Bill will put down back in the chat box so you guys can see it if he's still on their Facebook page. They also, there's just a great opportunity to kind of get to know and get to utilize these lesser known spaces while you're in your small groups. So if you are able to, we all know that we're kind of scrambling for space right now, but if you're able to, walk your small group over to a big area of land and kind of get some of those wiggles out, that's really, really important if you're doing in-person programming. And then if you're doing virtual programming, all you gotta do is go to the Parks and Rec Facebook page, and they have tons of online content that you can use and then debrief with your students afterwards about. So that was kind of why we wanted to talk to Parks and Rec and show you all of the amenities that they have. So any questions that anybody has before we end our session? I see Alexandria said Andorra who? Did I say Andorra? I'm sorry, I'm like not from Philadelphia, so I think I said Andorra, right? But is that it? Yeah, okay.
That's correct.
All right, cool. So the Wissahickon kind of, ventures out up into the Andorra area. So it kind of goes all the way up and into past the city. So so the video that kind of discussed the Wissahickon kind of went up in there as well. Any other questions? All right, great. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks to all of our presenters. We're so sorry about the technical difficulties, but hopefully you'll be able to check out Parks and Rec's Facebook page and hear more about some of their programming. Like I said, some of those lesser known spaces that they have. Let me grab the link really quickly. In terms of Cobbs Creek, I've been to Laura Sims Skate House a number of times, and it's a great, again, just like lesser known space in West Philly. So it's a great place to go, and like someone said, very economical. So So I'm gonna put the Facebook page in there. So yeah, so check out that Facebook page for content. And yeah, I think that's it. Again, thank you to Parks and Rec. Thank you all for joining our first day of our summer kickoff. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, starting with our Visual Arts City Initiative workshop. All right, thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.